A lot of people, whether they have certain values or certain faith, that doesn't necessarily matter so much. Everybody innately wants to help others. And it's interesting how many people out there who may not be connected to, say, a faith community or may not be connected to a service club still want to help. And they come out and they want to serve side by side. Come from all walks of life, all different backgrounds, all different vocations, and come together for a common cause.
Darcey's general manager around here, and he's the one who's helped us out an incredible amount and made this happen.
It's coming.
Yep. And he didn't have that mustache last year, but he's really grown into this farmer thing.
It's coming.
Yeah.
How about I start with the history?
Sure.
Okay. So it's called Helen's Acres. It's named after Helen Ziegler. So Helen and Gordon Ziegler were the owners of this land. And when they were coming to near the end of their lives, they decided they wanted to give back to the community. So they had approached a number of different organizations and asked each organization to put in a proposal on how the organization could take over the land and do something to help the community with either housing for those in need or food security. The gift was given to the Trinity Legacy Foundation with the mandate that we would run it for a minimum of 20 years to help with food security. And it's virtually all volunteers that are here. We have virtually no paid staff. I'm the general manager of the foundation that oversees 24 projects around the world, and this is one of them. This is our biggest one. And then we have a part-time seasonal land use supervisor that helps us with things like irrigation. That everything else is basically volunteers. We have 15 acres inside the fence. At this point, 12 of them are planted, and we will plant more over the next little while. Last year, ourselves and our partners, we delivered 175,000 pounds of fresh produce to donate to people in need. This year, our goal on paper is 200,000 pounds. My goal, stretch goal, is 250,000 pounds. And we've increased our planting drastically this year because with everything that's going on in the world, we know the demand is going to be there to try and help feed people. It was an empty farm when we got it. Well, not quite empty, actually. It was an empty field with lots of heavy equipment. Then we started putting in the infrastructure. We built the fences, put in the irrigation, and all along we wanted to have a focus on community. So our three main things with community are build community with people from all walks of life. We can come together and work together. Educate people on farming because it is something that is disappearing. A lot of people, especially young people, don't know where their food comes from or the importance of it. And lastly, of course, feed people in need. Okay, so that's our biggest focus. I think Kelowna, we really are so blessed here in that we have so much local food production that we take for granted. We have, a wonderful orchards. We have wonderful vineyards. We have a lot of market-type gardens, and I think we are blessed with not only the weather but also the land to be able to grow things really, really well. But it is disappearing, and people are not continuing to know about how to farm. So we want to be able to actually help people continue to learn about farming. I think part of what needs to be done is some of it's being done already. With the Agricultural Land Reserve, land is being protected for agricultural use, and I think that's very, very important. It can't only be the regulations that protect it. I think our value system has to recognize that land is so important and it's not a commodity that you can replace once you fill it up with a lot of development. So we need to be able to take pieces of land and use them for productive farming, especially inside urban centers. Like when you look at an urban center, a lot of land is disappearing because it's going into development, and sometimes swaps are happening where, okay, this piece of land in the Shuswap is being swapped and going into the Agricultural Land Reserve, but the piece of land that's coming out of the Agricultural Land Reserve is in an urban center. And a lot of developers are going to hate this, but we need to protect this land. This 24 acres that we're sitting on right here is in the middle of Kelowna, is very productive, very fertile land. And we want to make sure that we keep it that way and that we're using it to be able to grow nutritious food to help people who maybe don't have access to it. And it can't be turned into condos or high rises, that kind of stuff.